Well, tax day is less than 2 weeks away, and the IRS is out trying to make sure everyone is able to get those returns in before that April 15th deadline. And joining us now with some last-minute ideas is IRS spokesperson Luis Garcia. Luis, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
My
so
pleasure.
many times we have guests in this time of year saying how to avoid the IRS. We just brought them on in to have the conversation. Let's start, if you don't mind, with something that happened right across the river, more or less, from where we're sitting right now. We closed that great big IRS center over in Covington. What effect does that have on processing? Does it have any effect on processing?
Well, no, actually, a lot of our processes now are automated.
Yeah.
So in the past, you would print it out, or you would actually get the booklet at your library or your post office.
Sure.
And you'd do it with your pencil, and you'd send it in. And now it's, you buy the tax
People
software.
are jumping right on one of these things.
And sometimes you don't even have to buy it. Sometimes you're just right online already. And it's automated. It's not something that you need a physical human touch to open up letters and envelopes and so on.
Now, with automation, I would imagine come different kinds of challenges when it comes to scams and that kind of thing. And it seems like every year these scammers get a little trickier. What are you seeing this year? What do people need to avoid? One
of the biggest scams that we're worried about is, it's spoofing an IRS phone number. They can't spoof the 800-829-1040, the tax 1040 regular 800 number, but they've been spoofing either our taxpayer assistance centers or our taxpayer advocate's office.
Okay.
And they will actually tell you, look, we're calling from the IRS, go and look in your computer and look up IRS, what a taxpayer advocate office or assistance center. People will go look and say, oh my God, it really is.
It matches up.
It matches up, and then they call back and say, now send us the money.
Oh, wow.
So 3 things. IRS will never threaten you. No matter what you've heard, IRS is never going to threaten you.
Okay.
IRS is never going to demand immediate payment. If you ever get a call from the IRS saying, you got to pay right now, that's not the IRS.
Okay.
And finally, the IRS does not accept iTunes cards. We don't.
Yeah.
The gift cards. That's the thing that's the other big red flag that you should be aware of.
And that seems to be one of the hooks for all of these things, is that sort of odd form of payment.
Well, it's odd to us, but it's really lucrative for them, for the scammers, because it's cash. Once they get these numbers, it's cash for them. They can sell it through the dark web or through the black market.
Well, a lot of people who have waited to this point to file tend to owe. What advice would you give people who owe some money this year?
Actually, that's a myth.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I swear, we just talked about that yesterday. That's good to know.
The majority of people who wait are owed money.
Really?
That's the crazy thing. And in Ohio, we get 73% of tax filers are due a refund. And
no kidding.
It's just procrastination. So we get a lot of people at the beginning of the season who file, and a lot of people at the very end just because of procrastination. And we tell people, whatever you do, just file. Yeah. Please just don't. If you're overwhelmed, if you think you can't make the deadline, file for an extension. It's simple to do right on our website, irs.gov. Go to extension. It's a form that you can file electronically right from our website. Okay. But the worst thing that you can do is not file.
Okay. So that's probably your biggest tip then. If
yes, file. Even if you owe, even if you know you're going to get a refund, whatever it is, file that return, because otherwise you're going to look at all kinds of big. There's a difference. If you owe and you don't file, it's up to 25% in fees and interest. If you owe and you file, you're looking at the maximum of 5%.
Oh, wow.
So it's a huge difference, because we want to make sure that people file and don't just bury their head in the sand and get themselves in worse trouble.
Pretty easy way to protect yourself.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
Luis Garcia from the IRS. See, you've always heard IRS is difficult to deal with. He seemed like a friendly enough guy, didn't he?
Hugs.
Luis,
Hugs.
Bring it. We'll bring it in during the commercial break. Luis is great.